Hi, everyone.
Hello.
Hello, Chloe. Hello, Hugo.
How are
Hello.
you?
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Yeah, he meets you. How are you doing?
Fine. The weather is good at Clermont-Ferrand. We are preparing the summer collection now, so a bit busy.
Okay, wonderful. Yeah, with Pauline, we are based in Shanghai, and the weather is good too.
Mhm.
And first of all, we wanted to thank you for taking the time to contact us and to meet us today for the first ideas we have to implement picture in China. So I think you can start by presenting a bit of picture and a bit about the brand, etc. And then we'll go on the presentation of the ski market in China and the first ideas we have with Pauline.
Okay, sure.
Wonderful.
So Picture is a French brand that was founded in 2008. I'm one of the co-founder, and I am with Chloe, which is the commercial director in charge of implementing picture in China. So, picture, we can resume it to three words that are our DNA: the ride, the protect, and the share. Our mission is to, without being too serious, we want to move line and protect what is our playground, all the outdoor concerning the mountain or the sea. So, as I said, protect is our core, our baseline. We are deeply involved into environmental engagement. We want to reduce as maximum our dependence to fossil energy through every aspect of our business. We are also committed to protect our workers through different way. And through this engagement, we have received a lot of distinction. For example, the B Corp and the Fairware Foundation. In terms of business, we are close seller in the outdoor. Our biggest market is the snow. So we sell ski jacket, pants, but also fleece, technical t-shirts, all the gear to be protected in the mountain. Our second business is the surf, with a wetsuit, board shorts, t-shirts, surf accessories. We're also in the streetwear with a jacket, sweat, shirt, pants. You know what it is, and accessories. The way we communicate with our world is one, through movies. We are movie maker with notably the Zabardast, which reach 5 million views on YouTube. It's a way for us to communicate our values, and it's really important. And those values, we share it with athletes too, skiers, snowboarders, surfer. In total, 22 athletes sponsored, 7 nationality, and about 300K followers. And we also collaborated with actors that are committed to environment protection. Our latest collection was with World Wildlife Fund, WWF, and which is still present on our website.
And if I may, Hugo,
Yeah.
about the athletes that you're sponsoring and the nationalities, are they athletes from Asia or China, maybe?
No, we
Not-
haven't yet Asian based athletes,
Okay, thank you.
unfortunately. The way we communicate in social media is in a major way with the hashtag picture family. Through this hashtag, we want to empower adventure, shared moments, and the action for the environment of our communities. We have reached 180 followers on Instagram, and we are present through Instagram account in 10 countries. As an example, our latest big communication campaign was the Po Mobility Week. And that was a way to celebrate our partnership with the Po NGO, which is obviously an NGO that is made for protect the climate. Through this campaign, we have promoted promoted the low carbon mobility with our athletes through video, through photo, through posts, as we can see on the left corner. And we have also challenged our community with an edit contest about their week of sustainable travel. Picture in number, this is a turnover of 28 million euros with the growth that we maintain at 20%. It's also 1,300 references. It's mostly a B2B activity. It's a will because we want to empower the community and support all the local players on the mountain. So we have 1,700 point of sale in 50 countries. We have also other distribution channel, subsidiaries, 12 in France, 1 pilot shop, and an e-commerce that we maintain quite low at 3%. We have also services of renting. Maybe we'll check this later on. It's like first ideas of strategies, and you can help us with it. And I let Chloe speak about what we want to do with China.
So yeah, thanks Hugo for this presentation. I'm gonna talk about why we were not in China until now, and why today we want and we think that this is the right moment. So don't hesitate if you need to ask some question or if you need any details. So as you probably know, Picture distributes its products in several countries, both in Europe and America. And today, more than 50% of our sales are made through export. So we give a great part of our energy and resources to our business model, abroad, and it has never been a problem. So however, we were not yet ready to review our business model and strategy, knowing that China is a complicated market to penetrate for different aspects. So, for example, we know that the Chinese have strong belief when it comes to color and number. Some are lucky or not. So we didn't have time and not the resources until now to attack China, if I can say. So until 5 years ago, when Beijing was designated to be the host of the 22 Winter Olympics, the Chinese interest in skiing was rather low. We did our research by our side, and because actually we had already, with Hugo mentioned, to going in China a few years ago, but it was not the right time for us. So with the Olympic, with the Olympic, there is a big interest for skiing. And 5 years ago, skiing was perceived as a very expensive sport and even inaccessible for the population of China. So even for buying or even the renting was very expensive, and we didn't see any opportunities at that time. So we know that an opportunity is not enough to enter the Chinese market. So we need a personal desire and motivation to go in China. So today we feel ready to go in China and discover the market. So as we want to do well, we call you to bring us what we need to succeed in China. Then we know also that China has become the second region with the most ski areas in the world. behind the Alps. So the Chinese market actually is at its peak right now, and China is actually experiencing what the Alps in the 70s was experienced. So there is a lot of excitement around the ski in China, and the market is very promising. So in addition to the fact that skiing is exploding in China, on our side, after several years of existence, we know we have now the necessary. This is necessary for us to launch ourselves in the Chinese market. We want to expand our ambition without compromising. It's very important, our values today, because it characterizes our company, our identity. So we know that even if the market is booming, it's very complicated to establish in China a brand. For this reason, we thought that we start integrating the market, not physically, but not with store, but online. Because we know that online sales in China are very important, and the Chinese tends to consume more online than in physical store. So with Hugo, after reflection, we thought that launch the rental as we have in France, but in China could be a good idea. We deeply think that the rental will be more beneficial for our business than the sales of clothes. But as we are not a big brand for China, we know that it is more difficult to sell our product. So that's why we thought that work with you will be necessary for us.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you very much for this presentation.
Super interesting.
Yeah, Pauline, I'll let you if you want.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, of course, we'll try to implement the picture brand in China while respecting, as you said, Chloe, the values of picture, and while respecting also the codes of China. Because as you might know, the Chinese market is much different than the French market because of all the codes, etc. But it's our job to accompany you the best way possible. So first of all, on behalf of our company DAXUE Consulting, we wanted with Pauline to thank you for asking us to carry out your development projects. We are going to introduce you quickly to our firm, but this is an opportunity for us to highlight how meaningful it is to work together. Because to the extent that DAXUE Consulting is competent and recognized for 12 years now on the support of French companies on their development in China. And today we'll introduce you our first intentions regarding the support we can provide to picture in your development intentions in the Chinese market.
Mm-hmm. So in order for you to have a brief overview of today's presentation, we want it to be an exchange because we also have a lot to learn from you. So before we can make a coherent proposal. For our part, after a short presentation of our firm and our team, we will share what we understood of your request in order to align with your objective. And we will give you a clear overview of the ski market in China, and finally, we will share our first ideas with your development strategy.
Yeah, and as we want it to be an exchange, don't hesitate if you want to ask a question or something. Okay. So about us, we are a French market research firm in China. DAXUE Consulting is above all a privileged partner for French companies wishing to enter China. Although specialized in the Chinese market, DAXUE Consulting was created by a French team in 2010 and retains a strong French identity within its international team. This is why DAXUE Consulting is above all a privileged partner for French companies when they enter the Chinese market. And since 2012, we have supported more than 300 clients in nearly 600 development projects in China, notably Louis Vuitton, Moet Hennessy, Sandro, L'Oreal, etc.
So Mary and I are based in Shanghai offices. I'm a project manager. I worked on the development of Andros and Marc Jacobs brands recently. And Mary is a market analyst, and she joined the team 5 years ago. So that was a bit about us. So to understand our objectives, so first we want to develop pictures activities in China. So that's why we are having the meeting today. Obviously creating a tailor-made marketing plan, because we want to make sure that we understand your values and what you really want with the Chinese market, and implement and follow up a sales action plan. So we will see everything about that during our presentation.
Great.
So first, we're going to start with an overview of the winter sports market in China. So as you can see with this number, we see the ski resort and the ski visits, and it's been growing constantly since the 90s. So very interesting market as it is now. So we have many different distributions of ski resorts in China. Here you have a table of the biggest provinces with ski resorts. So total, we have 770 ski resorts among 28 provinces. So what we think are the most interesting one for you are the Hubei one and the Xinjiang provinces, because they have the largest number of ski resorts. So obviously, we'll see if those provinces meet your needs and values and what you want to do with your business. So let me tell you about the athletes.
Yeah, because in the continuity of the development of ski resorts in China and the interest of the Chinese population in particular, which is growing, the means invested to develop the practices related to winter sports are multiple. So the sportsmen of these disciplines arouse more and more enthusiasm, have more support, moral and financial, and the performances go with this increasing investments. We'll take the example today, for example, of Eileen Gu, who at only 18 years old is now a pioneer by becoming the first Chinese athlete to win 3 medals in the 3 disciplines at the Winter Olympics. Eileen is followed by more than 1.5 million people on Instagram, and she has been listed in the Forbes ranking. Hugo, you might know her. Yeah, she has been listed in the Forbes ranking of the 30 women under 30 to follow. So it's really, we took this example because it is really a consecration for this Chinese ski athlete, because who could consider like Chinese athlete 10 years ago be part of the Olympic and be a gold medalist, etc. Because 10 years ago, ski wasn't really developed in China.
So about the indoor ski resorts in China, it's growing as well, which could represent an opportunity for you as the weather will not alter your business. And as you can see with the graph, we see also that it's being in constant growth. In 2019, the number of indoor skier visits was a bit more than 2 million. And so it was among 31 ski resorts, indoor ski resorts. So that was, this tab is about the classification of skiers. So I don't know if it's similar in France, but you have different target group, and skiers come from different reasons. So we have the touristic reasons, the athletic, so they want to have a bit more sensation and performance while skiing. And you have really the vacation and leisure, but still performing aspect of skiing. So the biggest one is the touristic. So if you have some difference in your product, I would say that you should focus on the skiers that come for really as a tourist.
Okay.
Regarding the supervision of skiing in China, the International Ski Federation has now waited for the Beijing 2022 Games to boost the development of disciplines. A liaison office has been opened in Beijing, and the office is used to operate directly in China and promote the development of snow sports in the country. And there's also the Chinese Ski Association, which has a national dimension. and plans to boost the development of snow sports with the aim of engaging more than 300 million people to join snow sports in the country in late 2022, taking, of course, the advantage of the boosts made by the 2022 Winter Olympics.
So about the rental equipment in ski, China doesn't have a local ski binding product, so it could be as well an opportunity for brands like yours. However, we have some international brands that came onto this market like Volcom or Peak Performance. However, you can see here the attraction for the ski bindings, which is quite high in 2019. So, and we expect it to be still high for 2022 and the ongoing years. So for the China skier profile, we try to make a persona, for you to really understand the Chinese skier. So the majority of them are male, and the elementary indoor ski market has more female learners than males. However, we have 96% of skiers is ice snow, mainly provided online, so it's under 40, sorry.
Okay, that's good for us.
Yeah. Do you have most of male clients, or is it total distribution between male and females?
We tend to have more male than female.
Okay. Okay. About the popularity of sports, Chinese youth in particular seem to have fallen under the spell of skiing and skating, because 82 million of the new practitioners are between 18 and 30 years old. The same survey reveals that almost 40% of the respondents have participated in winter sports at least once a year, 11% more than 3 times a year. And skating is growing and growing because there are no more than 600 ice rinks in China. It represents a more than 300% increase from 2015. And skiing and snowboarding are all the rage in all latitudes with artificial snow and those big indoor slopes in huge refrigerated buildings like in tropical Guangdong province. So
Okay.
yeah, skating, and snowboarding are really the major sports.
And the youth, more youth generation that is going to
more
on
the
slopes,
youth generation,
which is great for us that are a brand which is pretty young, pretty that advocate the fun, and also that have sustainable conscious. And I've read that youth in China are committed into sustainable too. So it's really great. Happy to have this number.
And about the strategy, as we spoke about, like the aim for the Chinese Ski Federation to have more than 300 million new practitioners in the late 2022, and we wanted to share the main points, being the part of the strategy to reach this number. So the first one is to engage the new generations. As we were just talking about. So it's one of the key points. And by the end of 2021, nearly 3,000 schools in the country had integrated winter sports into their curricula. Also, as part of the National Ice and Snow season, several events have been especially designed for teenagers. For example, the World Snow Day, the International Children's Ski Festival, the National Ice and Snow Weeks, etc. There are a lot of ski events for teenagers, especially. And a great deal of effort has been put into the creation of local sports clubs and leagues for young people. For example, you have now the Beijing Junior Ice Hockey League, which has become the largest league in Asia with with approximately 3,000 college students in 2019. Regarding the the creation of sustainable ski resorts and infrastructures will benefit from the Beijing 2022 infrastructure construction, of course, and China will reuse them. The development of ski resorts and winter sports facilities has exploded in recent years. And it has been defined that in cities with a population of more than 500,000 inhabitants, they will develop new ice rinks because, as we were saying, skating is one of the top winter sports. And last but not least, winter sports is a huge market in China, also because it creates a lot of jobs and investments. We have outstanding figures to show that. First of all, the number of winter tourists in China has increased from 170 million in the late 2016 to more than 250 million last week winter season, so in 2021. 1 in 5 residents of Chongli, which is a municipality in the region, in the north region, which has hosted some winter sports for the Olympics, such as biathlon, ski jumping, etc. So 1 in 5 residents is now working in the sports industry as permanent job. In June 2021, the 12 counties and districts of Zhuangjiakou living below the poverty line are out of poverty now. So that's a main figure. And in the Beijing region, especially, 23,000 people were trained as winter sports instructors, mainly in skating and ice hockey, and also in permanent contract. So as we can see, the winter sports market is really growing in China, and so it's creating jobs, and it's creating investments, it's developing the tourism, etc.
So if I understand well, there is a big opportunity for us to go into this market.
Yeah, of course, because we also think, as you said previously, like China is engaging the new generation, and you're a brand which talks to new generations, and it's a major part of your clients. So yeah, it's really coherent to develop picture in China with the right advice, the right implementation, etc. But it's really coherent to develop the picture brand in China because there's a market in demand.
Okay.
So now we can have a discussion about the development strategy. So it really should be a conversation to see if we really got your values and who you wanted to be as a company in China. So we're gonna give you some first implementation. So the main difference with the French market is that you will need to adapt your product to the Chinese market because, as you said, Chloe, we have colors or numbers that are considered unlucky. So, for example, don't play with those on your apparel gears. However, some shape, fit, trends might work better in China than they did in France, for example. And the other main difference will be the e-commerce website, which we advise you strongly to develop. And once you have this platform, you wouldn't put all your products on there. It would just be a platform so you exist online if we look it up. However, we advise you as well to work with Tmall and WeChat because they are really big social media in China. And so people will use those platforms to look you up more than just the internet. So on your website, you should have the 2 QR codes and work with those 2 platforms to really be seen and have a presence online.
Okay.
So about the timeline, the first phase is today. It's really to get the conversation started and see if we're on the same line, if our advice makes sense to you. And the second time, we should start getting in touch with ski rental shop for you and see first if they would be interested in working with you, and if they make sense, if they're big enough for you to really get you out there and get the customer coming to your brand also. And all, just like I said, the creation of the website and the work with Tmall and WeChat. The third phase would be to start the communication and the marketing activation. So really to promote the brand, to make people aware that you are here, that you are available and you are an option. To do so, we will work with calls, athletes, schools, and federations, just like Marie presented earlier. And the last phase, so we think that you should be able to start really making business for fall 2023. So in about over a year, to make sure that everything starts really falling into place. Is it something you would agree on, or do you have any questions?
Yes, actually, we that's super cool because we planned to go in China, like maybe in 2 years or 3 years. So what you just said is like in 1 year it could be done. So that's great.
Okay, great. So,
And
if I may, yeah, I'm sorry.
yeah, maybe in terms of communication,
yes.
I saw that Burton was insisting in like sustainability, but also in terms of community. Do you think we need to have quite the same communication?
I think the hashtag that you presented earlier, so I think it was Picture Family, should be interesting to use in China as well. So maybe on WeChat, which is a really big community, and people spend a lot of time in this application because it's a lot of application in one. So you can exchange, you can see a bit like Instagram for our friends. So I think you should launch this hashtag also in China to create your community. Yes, I think it's important.
Okay.
And also, if I may, as Pauline said, it's really the first call to know a bit more about Picture, and for you to know about me bit more about what we can do, how we can support your development, etc. But of course, we had first ideas to implement the brand, which we will develop in the round of meetings. But for example, to give you an eye on it, it could be like, I don't know, maybe a partnership with a Chinese brand worked by top Chinese athletes. It could be a fashion show in a live stream on the Chinese platforms, etc. But we have many ideas, of course, to implement the brand. But of course, it was the first call to take the temperature, we would say, to see if it's coherent for you. To work with us, to work on this strategy. But yeah, of course, we think that there is a real demand in China to implement brands, winter sports brands, and French brands.
Cool. Okay. Maybe Hugo, I know that you worked on some ideas. So maybe we can show to Marie and Pauline what we thought about, and we can discuss, or maybe just you have an idea of what we would like to.
Yeah, sure. So in terms of strategy, you say e-commerce, not a simple translation, really adapted it, just have a page that take the consumer to Taobao.com, etc. And also QR code. So if I understand right, yes. Otherwise, for the renting, we thought of Nanshan. You talk about it. It's a pretty community spirit ski resort with a lot of snowboard. There's the Meadow Park. So I think that was a good entry in the country. And in terms of touch points, like you say something really relevant about the hashtag family, picture family. This is engaging community in a fun way, and we want also to implement communication on sustainability. So here's an example I came up with. The targets, micro-influencer, build a community, and target, as we said, youth, younger gens.
And Hugo, just you said that winter sports were one of your key market, of course, but how much does it represent, maybe in terms of percentage or something?
It's about 80%.
80% of your market.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, wonderful. Okay.
And the majority done at abroad, like in Europe and in America. Like we ourselves is it's yes, well represented in America and Europe.
Great. I think it was really interesting to get that first meeting to really make sure we're on the same page for your business and what you want to do in China. I don't know if there is anything else you wanted to say or ask or.
No, I think we're good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Pretty clear.
Okay.
So, thank
Okay,
you.
I think with Pauline, we'll work hard on it, on the projects. We might get in touch by emails, and maybe we can organize a follow-up meeting by 2 weeks or something, if it makes sense for you.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, wonderful. So we'll send you an invite for the next meeting.
Okay.
Perfect. Thank
you.
Wonderful. Thank you very much for your time.
Bye.
Bye.